So the thing that I'm going to make today is one of my favourite kind of dinners, and I love it because it's one of those shove it in the oven and forget about it while you do other things dinners. My kids love it, I love it. I always make double the amount so that later on in the week I can have it for lunches, or we make tacos later in the week. It goes on one pan, goes in the oven. I'm using the base, which is butternut squash. That bit comes off, and then through the middle, that bit comes off. And now you've created two steady bits. I'm kind of rocking my knife a bit just to get it through, and then just turn it again onto a flat side. Again, fingers either side, and just chop a bit smaller because I want it in smaller chunks today. There you go. Let's make a V, like that. Chop that, get rid of that. Just get rid of the seeds. Kind of use your spoon to scrape a bit. Got a flat bit, and then cut down. So point of my knife on the board and turn it. If you get any funny big bits, just chop those separately. And then they can go with everything else to get it all covered. Then I'm going to put in some sausages. So if you want to speed up the cooking time, just literally chop it. And I love scissors for doing this because you're not getting your board dirty. Now the other flavours that are going to go in here, I'm going to use some sage. So sage is one of the herbs that I grow in the garden. It grows really well. It roasts really well because it's quite oily. The other good thing about sage is if you're buying it at the supermarket, you can freeze it. So you can put the leaves in the freezer in a bag, and then you can use them from frozen. So instead of throwing away half a packet of herbs, you can always have them to hand. And it just makes it's got that really autumnal. Sage and sausages are a really classic thing that go together. Onion goggles, very attractive. And then just chop it into quarters, and then it's really easy to take the skin off. You don't want them in too thin pieces, otherwise they'll burn. But the nice thing about this kind of a recipe is you can make it, you know, if you've got small children who eat earlier in the evening and you want to eat later, you can make this, it reheats really well. So instead of chopping the garlic, if I chopped it, it would burn. So all I'm going to do is just put whole cloves of garlic in it, so you'll get a really nice sweet garlic flavour, and it's a lot easier than chopping it. So all you want to do just to help the flavour come out of the garlic is just squash it a bit, so you kind of got that. It's starting to just crack open a bit. Squash it, throw it on. And this is rapeseed oil. So it's grown in England. And then this is going to go in the oven for about 45 minutes until the sausages are nice and brown, the butternut squash has gone nice and sweet, and our onions are nice and roasted and sweet. So once this goes in the oven, you don't have to do anything, but that's a really nice time if you're like me to go off and do emails, fold laundry, help with homework, have a glass of wine. So I like this because it's one of those things where everything's done in one pan. So when I'm in a rush, I can get everything chopped, get it in the oven, go off and do other things. And then I come back, and the little finishing touch, which is this sort of salad that sits on top, you've got the base flavour, which is the sweetness of the butternut squash, you've got the meatiness, you've got those roasted onions. So if you had that on its own, it's quite sort of, you know, quite sweet and savoury, but it's nice to have a bit of brightness at the end. So all I'm doing is grating an apple, and this is going to get mixed with some rocket and lemon to get extra flavour. So we're not throwing it away and we're not wasting anything. And just that top layer of zest. Also, everything in the oven obviously has been cooked and it's quite soft, so it's nice to have something that's cold and a bit crunchy because it helps all the different bits of your mouth taste good. And if my kids don't want to eat this bit, they don't have to. I put it all on the table. Everyone eats the bits that they want. One of my children will probably pick the onions out, the other one might pick the butternut squash out, but I always just do the same meal for everybody and they can just eat what they want without any drama. Because no one's got time. I love cooking, and I do not have time to cook more than one thing a night. Because I think otherwise you end up doing 2 or 3 things so that everyone in the family's happy, but you haven't got the energy to make it nice, so everyone has a bit of a mediocre, rubbish meal. So you know this is ready because you've got the really nice colour on your butternut squash, and when you squish it, it's nice and squishy, and that skin has got loads of colour and sweetness as well. The sausages are cooked, obviously. The onions are kind of, some of them are a bit crispy, some of them are nice and soft, and your sage has gone really nice and crispy as well, so that's going to have loads of lovely textures and flavours in there. And the garlic has just gone really soft and sweet. Just to put some brightness on, I'm going to put a little bit of red wine vinegar. And that's the thing, if you start to think about layering your flavours up, that's when things taste really good. So I'm just going to scoop up, dress it all around a bit. Pile it up on a plate. I put this on top. And it just forces you then to get the different temperature, the different textures, and sort of eat all those different flavours together.